Okay, let's talk about something that's super important, but honestly can be really tough: teen dating violence. We're going to get into what it is, how to spot the red flags you might be missing, and maybe most importantly, how you can figure out what a healthy relationship really looks like for you. So let's dive in. So let's just jump right in with a big question. How do you actually know when a relationship, or even just a friendship, starts to feel unhealthy? It's tricky, right? That line can get really, really blurry, especially when you're in the middle of it. Well, to figure out where that line is, we first have to get on the same page about what we're even talking about. See, at its core, dating abuse isn't just about one bad fight or a rough day. It's a pattern, and it's always, always about power and control.
And this is the absolute key, the one thing to remember. Abuse is a pattern of behavior. It's something that happens over and over again. It's a calculated way for one person to get and keep control over their partner. And, while our minds often jump to physical violence, that's usually just one piece of a much bigger, more complicated puzzle.
Which leads us to a really crucial point. The most common warning signs are often completely invisible. Abuse takes a lot of different forms, and they can be just as hurtful and damaging as anything physical. First up, there's emotional abuse. This is when words are used like weapons. The constant put-downs, the insults, the little jabs that are designed to make you feel small or worthless. Over time, that stuff just chips away at your confidence until you actually start to believe it. It's absolutely devastating to your self-esteem. Then you have sexual abuse. This is any action that pressures or forces someone into doing something sexual that they don't want to do. And let's be crystal clear on this. Just because you don't say the word no does not mean you're saying yes. Pressure is not consent. Guilt tripping is not consent. Coercion is not consent. And, of course, there's physical abuse. This is any kind of intentional and unwanted contact. It's what most people think of first when they hear the word abuse. But it's so important to remember, it's almost always connected to that larger pattern of trying to gain power and control. Okay, so let's shift gears and talk about where we live so much of our lives now, online. Our relationships happen over text, in DMs, on social media, and unfortunately that means abuse can happen there too. Yup, it has a name: digital dating abuse. It's basically using technology, your phone, your social accounts, to bully, harass, stalk, or intimidate a partner. It's really just emotional or verbal abuse, but using technology as the weapon. So, what does this actually look like? Well, the signs can be surprisingly obvious once you know what to look for. Is your partner blowing up your phone 24/7, demanding to know where you are and who you're with? Are they using texts to tell you who you can and can't see? Are they constantly pressuring you for explicit pictures or harassing you online? These are not just annoying habits. They are huge red flags. So you might be wondering, how big of a deal is this really? Well, let me just put a number up here. 1 in 3. 1 in 3. That's how many teens in the US will experience physical, sexual, emotional, or verbal abuse from a partner. Think about that. Look around your class or your friend group. This isn't some rare thing that happens to other people. It's an epidemic. And if that number wasn't shocking enough, check out this one: 1.5 million. That's the number of high school students who experience physical abuse from a partner in a single year. It's just a staggering figure, and it shows why we absolutely have to be having this conversation. And here's why talking about this right now is so critical. Look at this timeline. These unhealthy, controlling, and even violent behaviors, they don't just appear out of nowhere. The pattern typically begins sometime between the ages of 12 and 18. That's right when we're all trying to figure out what relationships are even supposed to look like, which makes spotting these red flags early so, so vital. Okay, so we've talked a lot about the problem, and I know it can feel pretty heavy, but here's the good news. There is a solution, and it starts with knowledge. Seriously, understanding the difference between what's healthy and what's not, that's your power. A really powerful first step is to literally draw your own line. Think about it for a second. On one side, what are the things you absolutely do not want in a relationship? What are your deal breakers? And on the other side, what are the things you absolutely need? The healthy stuff, the values and traits that are non-negotiable for you, like trust, respect, and honesty. And look, if there is one single thing you take away from all this, please let it be this. You are not alone. Not ever. Whether you're seeing these red flags in your own life or you're worried about a friend, there is free, confidential help out there waiting for you. For example, there are places like the Advocacy and Resource Center. Just look at their mission to empower people to find safety, choice, and freedom. And that's really what this is all about. Empowerment, taking back control. And they offer so much real, practical support, and all of it is free and totally confidential. We're talking about things like helping you make a safety plan, crisis counseling, just getting you information about your rights, whatever you need, help is available. Now, this is just one example, of course, but resources like this exist in communities everywhere. The most important part is knowing that 24-hour crisis lines are a real thing. Help is always just a phone call away, any time of day or night. So let's end this by flipping the script. Instead of just focusing on what's unhealthy, let's focus on what to build. I want you to take everything we've talked about and really ask yourself, what does a truly healthy, supportive, and respectful relationship look like to me? Because that is what you deserve.